In the apartheid days, it's about to happen. We are witnessing this phenomenon everywhere. Everywhere in the Bargaining Council, the ANC alliance partners are trying to kick us out of the Bargaining Council. But as if that is not enough, they also want to kill our leadership. So let us be vigilant. Wherever we are, let's protect one another. Like we have come up here, and our mission for us to come in here, we had thought, although we have not arranged with SAPU, but as SAPU while in Cape Town yesterday, we had a meeting of the public sector unions to discuss as to what to do looking at this onslaught. And we have resolved, hope it will enjoy the support of SAPU. We have resolved that today, after the court case, let us march to Sunnyside to deliver the message that we cannot take it anymore. We are not going to allow it for once. It has happened once, and once it's enough. Let us not wait until it has happened we start bearing our leadership. Because what happened to Steve Bantu Biko nearly happened to him. I mean, the extent of assault by a policeman on a senior police officer for that matter. He is not just a president of SAPU, but he's also a senior policeman. But the juniors reservists for that matter. Assaulting him in this manner cannot be accepted by any of us and should not be tolerated. And with those few words, I commit the support of NUPSO, that it will always be vigilant and support any activity which is aimed at stopping the onslaught by the ANC, COSATU, Communist Party Alliance. We will fight to the bitter end. Amandla! Viva NUPSO, viva! Viva! Viva SAPU, viva! Viva!
I wanted all the comrades who are coming from the other public sector unions to come, but I guess that they are late. But I do see the Deputy General Secretary of SACOSU is here, and I don't know whether there is any in the leadership of Y2 that are here. Comrade Deputy GS of SACOSU, the President is getting lost, but will be here anytime. I want them all to speak and in solidarity with you, and in particular with your President, President Mpho Kwinika.
Amanda! Viva SACOSU, viva! Viva! Viva SAPU, viva! Viva! Aye, SAPU, aye! Aye, SAPU, aye! Comrades, good morning. Good morning. It's a pity that we have to gather here in one spirit because of an onslaught that is against us. The right to belong to a union of your choice, or to join a group of people or organization of your choice, has become a note for the barren to get yourself dead. Seemingly, this is the beginning, comrades. It is clear that most of us are all under surveillance. We need to take note. It is fortunate that it happened to a leader who is very strong. Comrade President, I want to applaud the strength to survive, because this has happened and is repeating itself. Tomorrow it might be you in the small corner where you might find yourself. Tomorrow it might be me. We are all saying as SACOSU, let us unite and fight this battle. As the comrade of NUPSO, the GS said, in all the bargaining councils, there is yet a political onslaught on all our unions. This demands us to unite even more. We need to tighten all the screws, close all the gaps, even if there's slight differences amongst ourselves, but this is the beginning of the word that says we are going to survive. We are going to kill COSATU unions as they are already dying. With or without the minister, we are going to make a noise so loud that he has no choice but to chase out all these rotten, sorry to use this word, police officers, amongst police officers. That is a word that was used by our previous commissioners in correctional services, saying they are going to take out all rotten apples or potatoes in correctional officials. Bearing in mind, they are the most rotten potatoes in the pack. So comrades, SACOSU stands by SAPU unions with SAPU that we are going to survive. Amanda! Viva SAPU, viva! Viva SAPU, viva! Viva! Why need to? Comrade, why need to? Viva comrades!
Hire a speaker. Hire a speaker.
Hire a speaker. Viva Wainitu Viva!
Viva!
Viva Wainitu Viva!
Viva!
Viva SAPU Viva!
Viva!
Phambili msebenzi uzonqoba phambili.
Phambili!
Comrades, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you, Mbambi Kaza, for my leadership. They're still rushing up here. We decided, alright, we leave everything because there's this dilemma here. Because if this thing leadership, if we leave it and not be attended to it just now, somebody starter, it's gonna go back to apartheid. So it's becoming annoying that a public servant gets to malhandle another black person like that and expect to go away. Not with SAPU members. Iphelelala. So leaders, apartheid long time ago, but our fellow blacks who are in the democracy are still making us suffer as if we are still in the apartheid regime. It must come to an end. We just have to benchmark from today. The new breed of trade unions has just emerged. So it must be felt. Amanda.
Away to Amanda. Let me just tell you a story, comrades. When they arrested the first king of the Eastern Cape called Makana Kancele and put him in the Robben Island, they in their mind thought that everybody else thereafter will be intimidated. But by arresting him, they didn't know that they were effectively mobilizing hundreds and thousands of other people. When they put Nelson Mandela into prison for 27 years, when they shot our people in Sharpeville in 1960, in Langa, Kwanobushe, and everywhere else, and when they killed Steve Biko in 1976 and 1977, and when they were killing each and every activist, they never knew that they have enrolled themselves as the organizers, or they've enrolled themselves as organizers for justice, for fairness, and the role that became the reality for them saw us reaching in 1994. Now they are desperate. The people who played such a critical role to get us where we are today with a constitution that gives us a Bill of Rights are desperate. You know why they are desperate? We are disturbing them on the table. They are eating. And they will not tolerate anyone disturbing them in the process of them eating in that table. They fear the rise of SAPU. They fear the rise of NUPSO. They fear the rise of SAPU, of Kwinika, of SACOSU, and of all of these other public sector unions. Yep. They are now resorting to the old apartheid tactics, where they used to have a mentality of skit and donor. This is a normal behavior of a human being threatened. They are threatened by the rise of independent but not apolitical. They are threatened by the rise of democratic and worker-controlled trade unions. They are threatened by the rise of militant campaigning unions who have only one mentality: workers first and everything else to follow thereafter. Workers first and everything to follow thereafter. They don't like that. They want the status quo, where leaders of the unions climb on the back of workers to go to parliament, to become mayors and ministers. We are switching off that sort of power they used to enjoy. They are now resorting to this, and we must not see these comrades in isolation. On Friday, Mpho Kwinika, standing in the underground parking of a building with security, not disturbing any peace, chatting with other comrades. These guys who have been following him for a week at least, with unmasked cars, pounced on him and accused him of making noise. And they said they were charging him for what they call disturbing public peace. Underground parking, chatting with other comrades, you are disturbing public peace. Thereafter, the drunken people look at this handsome man and they say, you are also drinking in public. Does he look like a drunk? No. Who looks like a drunk? Damn. We are now hearing that they have withdrawn both of those charges because they know, yeah, they're going to have to say how he disturbed public peace and how he was drinking in public. Underground. And my comrade, hanyane, come get us one. Viva, comrade, viva.
Carry on, come.
Now they say no, he assaulted one police and he resisted arrest. On the 17th, I'm sure they're going to withdraw those two charges too.
Yeah.
But comrades, there is a broader war. As Comrade Tumelo Mukhodiseng was saying, everywhere else, as Comrade Success Mataitane was saying, the GS office of Nupso, everywhere else, as Comrade Gordon Maseko, the treasurer of SAPU was saying, all of them, there is a war, comrades. We must understand that there is a war. These guys have been enjoying all the rights as majority unions for ages. They constitute around 52% majority in the public sector collective or centralized bargaining structure. They are threatened that 52% is simply going in front of their eyes. They have now decided to work with the government that supports them to actively try to dissuade all workers in the public sector from joining independent, campaigning, and democratic trade unions that are rising since we formed SAPU almost 2 years ago now. They are increasing the thresholds in each and every bargaining chamber to 30,000. In the police or security cluster, they're saying 50,000. They want any union that is less than 50,000 not to be represented. In the health bargaining chamber, they've increased it to 30,000. Everywhere else, they are increasing to 30,000. They tried, but little did they know that they're going to start a fight amongst themselves. They tried to increase, even in the central bargaining chamber, the threshold to be 100,000. The aim being to exclude SAPU, NUPSU, SALIPSU, SAKOSU, Wainetu, everybody which is belonging to the new start-up trade unions. The government, which is their sleeping partner politically, is actively supporting them together with the officials that they deployed in all of these bargaining chambers. This Friday, NUPSU is in yet another dispute where it is going to be verifying its membership. And NUPSU, to their amaze, have grown to now 50,000 from 30,000 in 1 year right now. They are in absolute shock and they are fearing for their future. All of the SAPU unions are growing like wildfire across the public sector. POPCU is dying left, right, and center. We were in the Baragwana last week. Is dying fast. All of them are in a desperate mode to try and survive. Yesterday we met as the public sector unions of SAPU, and we agreed that this attack, this brutal attack on Mpho Kwinika, is not an attack on him in person, is not an attack on SAPU, but it is an attack on all democratic, worker-controlled, independent and campaigning trade unions in South Africa under the leadership of SAPU. So we have decided to accept their challenge. We have decided to accept their challenge. The beating, the humiliation, the blood that spilled in that Sunnyside police station from Mpho, his broken arm, his burst ear, his suspected broken limbs, and the fact that he had to sleep on his own urine because they refused him even to go to relieve himself, is actually a beginning of a new war they've waged against us, and we are going to respond in kind. It's a pity that the decision to march to Sunnyside today was decided rather late in the day, I see that comrades struggle to get their comrades to come over here. I see that there are few members of NUPSO. I see that the SAPU President have eventually arrived. I see that there are comrades from Wainetu. I see few comrades from Salipsu. We need the numbers. You don't fight this war without the numbers. We need the numbers. The comrades have said they will at least mobilize a minimum of 20 people so that we can march from here to Sunnyside without permission. The days of writing letters endlessly, comrades, and asking for permission belongs to the past. The Constitutional Court have already said we have a right to assemble, to demonstrate, and to show our anger all the time. We need to go to the Sunnyside police station. But if the numbers agrees today, we will go immediately there after this. But if the numbers do not give us the confidence, then on the 17th of April, you, SAPU, are going to have to lead in the front. You, in Sakosu, are going to have to lead from the front. You in Nupsu, you're going to have to lead us in the front. And Salipsu is going to lead us from the front. The federation will come from behind. We are going to, from the court, we are going to Sunnyside. We will ask no permission. We will walk in the streets and go there if there is a traffic disturbance. We will apologize in advance, but we will explain that we have been provoked.
Yes.
Woo! Sleeping in your home. Just a day after we have celebrated a Human Rights Day. Thought that as you were sleeping there, our leader, our president, was being beaten, and the crooks who are calling themselves the police were jumping on his head mercilessly with the aim of killing him. The aim was not just to humiliate him, the aim was to kill him. And they were hoping that if they kill him, they will then intimidate SAPU members across the country. No, we are not intimidated. We want those 8 crooks behind the bars serving long sentences for breaking the human rights, for violating the human rights of Mpho Kwinika. They signed an agreement in December with all the arrogance. They signed. From now on, the members of the specialized task forces will go straight to the salary level of the warrant officer. They signed with the minister and with this Kesha's Tole, who have to go from that position. Now there is a reaction because the rest of the constables says, but we are putting our lives on the line every day to chase very dangerous criminals carrying all manner of weapons. And you recognize that our salary levels are actually very low, and that you now want to discriminate and set divisions amongst the police by treating others differently from the others. POPCO, seeing the reaction of their own members, is now resorting to these intimidation tactics. They will not succeed. Our call to every constable who have been trapped in that position for more than 10 years without promotion, join SAPU. Let's fight this battle together. Change your loyalty. Leave the sweated union in bed with the government and the employer and join the family of democratic, independent and campaigning trade unions. Our call to every police officials tired of seeing corruption being done in their name must join SAPU to demand that Kekastole must go, together with all of those who are panicking and shivering alongside him because of the call that SAPU have made. That's the struggle, comrades. Let me end there and not take all of the day. The 17th of April, write it more, Lingwanen. The 17th of April, comrades, we are going there. We are going there. Our demand is that all of the securities must be moved into the police and be employed permanently. Our demand is that all of the police reservists that they use who are unemployed must receive a priority when there are vacancies and be employed. Because if they give the security the right to arrest and to guard dangerous criminals, what stops them from employing them and recognizing their skill? If they do need the police reservists from time to time, they must employ them and increase the numbers of the police, which they say. You remember Peggy says, and Kekastole, there are 60,000 vacancies in the police. 60,000 vacancies. They must employ the security. Yes. They must employ all of the reservists who want to be employed permanently in the police force. Thank you very much.
Viva SAPU, viva!
Viva!
I hold us after I hold it. Yeah, comrades, without any waste of time, before I call the president, it is not only about security guards. Minister Taylor, when he was a commissioner, he gave directive that we must do away with public service aid in the police. We must get rid of that in the police. The second war is Polmet, comrades. Polmet, we are going 11 July. We are going to Free State. Comrades, we need numbers. General Secretary and the General Secretary have spoken. Without numbers, comrades, so we need buses to Free State, 11 July. We are going to fire them, all of them, in the city. We must place Polmet in the Free State. From there, we are going to Gems. We must make sure that we also attack Gems. Gems must be free for all public servants. Polmet 99, when it was established, it was free for police officers. It must be free, back to be free. All those sellout trustees from Pop Crew, we are going to fire them. Comrade Pierre is sitting there as a trustee. I mean, he was fired in the police. How can he look after our mechanic? It's very wrong, comrades. We must go there and remove all these comrades. So 17 April, we need numbers, comrades. We need numbers, mobilize members as many as you can. Recruitment at your stations. Members will never join SAPU if you don't tell them about SAPU. Don't sleep in your police station when you are having popular member. Don't sleep up until you are 100% SAPU members. I hold a SAPU, I hold it. Our president. president, our president, our president, our president, Kwinika, our president, Kwinika, our president. Viva SAPU, viva! Viva! Like we said, comrade, we don't care whether president drinks or not. It's none of their business. Yes. We don't have a right to assault him. Yes. So we don't care what you think. We know they are going to cook charges. Yeah. We must also mobilize in numbers so that no one must be able to walk here. When they bring those charges that have been cooked, we don't care. It's our president. We will defend him whether you like it or not. Viva SAPU, viva! Viva!
It's like this. My comrade. Ambele siya bo siya yo siya Roma ambele siya bo siya Roma bese tobola bese siya comrade, viva! Viva! Viva leadership from South to viva! Viva! Viva our affiliates from South to viva! Viva! Viva leadership from SAPU, viva! Viva! Amanda! Away! Away to! Amanda! Yaruna! I'm not going to talk about this case, but I'm going to talk to the results of this case. If there is anyone who had thought once that which they did to me is going to stop us from the path that we've taken, they are mistaken. We collectively have a duty, the duty to make sure that our organization reigns supreme in this sector. And I can assure you that Hope Crew will soon be the history of the past. There's one thing that is very important that you need to know. That a week ago, the organization has sent a letter to the president of this country, to the minister and the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Police. And that letter had outlined few issues about the current policy, the status of policy in our country. You will remember that the past CECs at the Congress had a theme, and that theme said, professional policing a must for a better South Africa. And what they did to me, it's hardly one of those professional elements we'll have to see in our policy. I was here before 1994. I have seen it all. I never expected to see what I saw pre-1994, post-1994. And I can assure you that when I was in those cells, I've indicated to those officials that the revolution to professionalize policing starts right here. I have continuously indicated this to them, that nothing is going to stop us from this course. The issues that I wanted to relate to you, it's about the National Commission of Police. You'll remember that there is a matter IPD is busy investigating. Someone must declassify that information so that it can be used in the public courts. And that person can never be the National Commissioner of Police in City. And the proposal from the organization is that the president must remove General Ketastole because he's a suspect and be replaced by an acting national commissioner, so that he, and together with the head of the division crime intelligence, are in a position to declassify the information needed by IPT. You can hear this is not a good thing, eh? The other thing that we raised is an issue of Major General Mpho. General Mpho is one of the accused in the case of the blue lights. You will recall that General Delange was removed from her office effective the 1st of November 2018. We were all told that she had voluntarily left, but the truth is that she has been forced out. But if you force her out in terms of Section 35, it means that you are buying her out. For the next coming 2 years, she will be earning a full salary of about 1.6 million rand per year for the next coming 2 years. That is unacceptable. If Section 35 is to be applied in a post that is which is still in existence, Section 35 is no longer relevant. And we see this as misuse of funds. And the 4 billion rand which the police has could have easily half of it used for the backlog which we have in the promotions of the officials within the institution. General Mpho's suspension came into effect. It was uplifted on the 14th of January 2019. She was supposed to have started work the 15th, but she was told not to because the case that she's faced with has got public interest in it. She is informed that she can only report for work after the 29th, which is going to be her next court appearance on the blue light case issues. We suspect that on that day, matters are going to be withdrawn against them. But there is a letter from the DG for the department DPSA which warned officials from utilizing precautionary leave where members are supposed to be physically at work. And it is for this reason that we have also brought that issue to the attention of the President, that it should not have happened that way. So are many other issues. Today you have got members who are not happy because of the issues of salary gradings and promotions. And apart from that, last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, a Monday, all commanders of the service met in Pretoria on the call by the minister, together with him, to address this leadership. For the first time in the history of policing, you had to have commanders who reject their #1 employee to address them. That is a vote of no confidence. We have brought these issues as well to the attention of the President to say, you need to have a look at this and not even wait beyond, because enough has already happened. Policing does not exist anymore. You cannot be in a country such as ours, have people who are not at war being killed in a day, about 59 of them. Daily we have 59 people that are killed in our country. You cannot say that we have got professional policing in our country when our citizenry in their own houses continue to suffer in the hands of the criminals, what we call contact crimes. People are being killed inside their houses. Vehicles are taken away from them violently. Why is it so if we have got good policing? These are just some of the issues which we have penned down in that document to say, President, have a look at it. So you will see that this is not a just war. It's a war that is not only going to be meted out against the leadership of the institution. It's going to be meted out to you too. Now is the time for us to stand in unison and fight this thing that is we are now being faced with. As for the case, let's wait for the 17th of April in here. We love you.
Viva SAPU, viva! E SAPU e batla masoja. SAPU e batla masoja. SAPU e batla masoja. Viva SAPU, viva! Aisha Pokuraisha! Aisha Kosatlaisha! Aisha Pokuraisha! Comrade Raleleboga. So 17 April, 8 o'clock, Ochango, Martuala Strata said 2. Arbato Huiti. Lieutenant General Secretary, the General Secretary without permission. So I will honor Kabule, President of Wille, Ralebo Comrade, drive say back home. Amanda, away too. Bata, Aruna, Batimba, ala SAPU, ala.